Welcome back guys. So this is going to be the review of Realme 9 5G Speed Edition mobile phone. Not exactly a new phone. In India it was released about 5 months ago. I purchased the device about 2 months ago. The main highlight of this device is Snapdragon 778G processor. It's one of the best mid-range processors for gaming. I've already covered its gaming performance in detail. The device was shipped with Android 11 based Realme UI version 2. Now it has received Android 12 based Realme UI version 3. Again, I have covered it in detail. Link for the video will be given in the description. In India, the base variant sells for around rupees 20,000, that's around 250 US dollars. It competes against Poco X3 Pro. This device also sells for the same price. Poco X3 Pro comes with Snapdragon 860 processor. This is the box of this device. Let me show you the SAR values. For the head part it is around 1.159 watt per kg. For the body part it is around 1.028 watt per kg. The device supports 5 5G bands, N1, N28, N41, N77, N78. Snapdragon 778G processor. Display supports up to 144Hz refresh rate, adaptive, 5000 mAh massive battery, 30 watt dart charger is included with the device. I'll just open it. Inside this case we have a TPU cover, as you can see, some pamphlets. The device fits very nicely in the TPU cover. The charging port is also protected, as you can see. The cover improves the grip as well. At the bottom we have the charger. A type A to type C cable is also included. The cable is rated for handling 6 amperes of current. It has white accent. This is a 30 watt dart charger. You can see its output rating 5 volt 2 ampere or 5 volt 6 ampere. That's it with the box contents. This is the device itself. Comes with an IPS LCD panel that extends 6.6 inches diagonally. Front screen is protected by Panda glass, not Gorilla glass. Bottom bezel is slightly thicker than the top bezel. Side bezels are of the same size. Now I'm going to highlight the buttons, ports and other hardware of the device. You can see the punch hole camera in the upper left corner. It's a 16 megapixel snapper, aperture size of f2.1. On the right side we have this power button, recessed. It also serves as a fingerprint sensor. Volume buttons are on the left side, as you can see. They are clicky. And this is the SIM card slot. It has a dedicated memory card slot. Let me just show you that. I'll use the SIM ejector pin. There you go. I've already inserted a memory card. You can insert 2 nano SIMs. On the bottom we have the 3.5 mm audio port, mic, type C port. It supports USB 2.0 data transfer speeds. It does not support video output MHL. And there's the single bottom 5-inch speaker. The device does not come with stereo speakers. That's a bit disappointing. And on the top side we have this one mic only. At the top we have this earpiece. It does not serve as a secondary speaker. Moving on to the back side, it is completely plastic. Looks gorgeous. Texture is grainy. The colors changes depending on the angle at which light hits the back side. The back side does not catch fingerprints and smudges easily, as you can see. This is a good thing. I'll be honest, back side of this Realme device looks much better than Poco X3 Pro's back side. I have the Starry Glow variant. And these are the 3 cameras. Main sensor is a 48 megapixel snapper with an aperture size of f1.8. It does not have any optical image stabilization, only EIS. The other 2 sensors are very disappointing. The device has no ultrawide lens. The other 2 cameras are for depth and macro. 2 megapixel with an aperture size of f2.4. And this is the LED light. You can see the camera island here. It's pronounced. Let me compare it with Poco X3 Pro. Both are pronounced. Due to the camera island, the device will wobble when placed on a flat surface. Moving on to its dimensions, the device is around 165 mm tall, 76 mm wide and has a thickness of around 8.5 mm. It has a weight of around 199 grams. I have to be honest. Weight distribution is good. The device fits very nicely in the hand, but it is a bit slippery. I would recommend using the TPU case for a better grip. For reference, I am comparing it with Poco SE Pro. Both of them have almost the same height, and now you can see the thickness. Poco SE Pro is thicker and also heavier. I use Idea Network, did not face any problem with the signal reception. Call quality was good. Sound coming out of the earpiece was loud and clear. With Realme UI version 3, we do have the option of recording calls. When we are on a call, the call recording option will be available. When it is enabled, the receiver will get a notification that the call is being recorded. Moving on to the display, it is an IPS LCD screen, supports up to 144Hz refresh rate, adaptive. The colors don't fade when looking at the device from the sides. Brightness levels are good enough. Text is readable under direct sunlight when the brightness levels are amped up. The grays and the blacks are not as deep as what we get on an AMOLED panel, but for an IPS LCD panel, these color levels are good. Let me just show you the display settings. We get some standard features. We can switch between light mode and dark mode from here. Auto brightness, eye comfort, screen color mode. As you can see, we can select from these two profiles, vivid and natural. I am using the vivid profile. P3 mode for a richer color display, natural profile, softer color display. We can also adjust the screen color temperature, cool, default, warm. This is a slider. I'll stick with the default preset, vivid profile. In order to tweak the refresh rate, just need to select this setting, screen refresh rate. We can choose from these three options. Auto select high, standard. With the standard setting, a refresh rate of 60 Hz is applied. It conserves battery as compared to the higher refresh rate. With the high setting, a refresh rate of 144 Hz is applied for smoother animations and operations. Then we have the auto select setting, automatically select the best refresh rate for an app. Using the auto select setting, I got a refresh rate of 90 Hz when scrolling through the user interface. Got a refresh rate of 60 Hz when using YouTube. Got a refresh rate of 144 Hz when using Google Chrome. But I noticed one thing, games that support high refresh rates were not running at high FPS on this device even when I used the high refresh rate setting. Realme has to work with the developers, and the developers have to whitelist this device so that these games can run at high FPS. Let me just quickly showcase this. Scrolling through the interface and you can see getting 90 FPS. And now I'll just open YouTube. As you can see, now we are getting around 60 FPS. This is Google Chrome, and now we are getting 144 Hz refresh rate. But when I open the keyboard, refresh rate drops to around 60. The display is not rated for HDR10. This is the DRM info. Supports Widevine L1, meaning you can stream Amazon Prime, Netflix videos in HD. I do have Prime membership. Just streaming a Prime video. You can see the quality, high definition. Looks very nice. Now its single bottom firing speaker is loud enough, but I'll be honest guys, when I'm holding the phone like this, the audio quality deteriorates very easily. As you can see, holding the device like this affects its audio quality, and I'll be very honest, when playing the game like this, I kept on accidentally blocking the bottom firing speaker too many times. Moving on to performance, I'll just share with you some benchmark scores. I have the 6GB RAM variant of the device, 128GB ROM, UFS 2.2. I ran the benchmark test when the device received its Android 12 update. On NT2, it scored around 540,000. Let me just compare its score with Poco SE Pro. Poco SE Pro scored around 578,000. But just check out the CPU and GPU scores. The CPU score was higher on the Realme device, around 161,000. Poco SE Pro has Snapdragon 860 processor. CPU score for it was around 148,000. The GPU score was higher on Poco SE Pro by a big margin. The score was around 206,000 on Snapdragon 778G. GPU score was around 157,000. Then we have the Geekbench scores. On the Realme device, single core score was around 764. On Poco X3 Pro, single core score was around 770. Multi-core score on the Realme device was around 2635. On Poco X3 Pro, it was around 2648. Very close. Then I ran the 3D Mark Wildlife benchmark test. On the Realme device, score was around 2442. On Poco X3 Pro, score was higher, around 3458. Then I ran the CPU throttling test for 5 minutes on both of the devices, and you can see Realme device performed better. No CPU thermal throttling detected. On Poco X3 Pro, CPU throttled to around 94% of its max performance. Maximum, average and minimum scores were higher on the Realme device. Average score was around 220,000 GIPS. On Poco X3 Pro, the average score was around 210,000 GIPS. Clearly, the Realme device has the superior CPU performance. Emulation is heavy on the CPU. Play Store games are heavy on the GPU. Let me just show you the battery settings. This device comes with a 5000 mAh battery. From here you can see the battery usage. As you can see, YouTube is consuming around 7.81% of the battery. Other apps are also shown. You can also access the power saving mode from here. If you go to the advanced setting, you can access the performance mode. Very important. I always enable the high performance mode before recording any gameplay video. This will increase battery consumption and cause your device to heat up. This is normal. For most of the times, the smart performance mode works nicely. I have already done my extreme battery drain test. The device lasted for about 6.5 hours. That's a very good score. Brightness was maxed out. Played games for about 2.5 hours. After that, watched YouTube videos for about 3 hours, Full HD 60 fps videos, and after that recorded some 4K 30 fps videos. Snapdragon 778G processor is very efficient. With moderate usage, the device should easily last for about 1.5 to 2 days. Using the 30-watt start charger, battery charge from 0 to 100% in about 85 minutes for me. Moving on to Realme UI, it's fast and snappy on this device, mostly bug free. The device comes with minimal bloatware. You can uninstall most of the applications. Some of these applications were already installed on the device, like Finshell, Snapchat, ShareChat and LinkedIn. As you can see, uninstall. Let me just show you the quick toggles. The device supports dual band Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi 6 support, Bluetooth version 5.2. In order to access more quick toggles, just tap on this edit icon here. These are the extra quick toggles. In order to use the quick toggle from here, just drag and drop it here. Back. There's the OTG quick toggle. Realme UI comes with many useful system applications and features. I'll just highlight a few of them that I used and found useful. First, we have the phone manager. From here you can scan for viruses. Storage cleaner is also provided. This is the optimizer. It clears the cache and highlights any security and privacy issues. Let me just show you that. As you can see. Then we have the games application. Just need to add a game or application to it. Then we can enable the games toolkit while in game. Just need to swipe from the edge. Let me just show you this. I've already added Minecart. In order to add any game, just tap on these 3 dots, then tap on add games. From here select any application. I'll just start Minecraft. I've set the refresh rate of the device to high. This game does support 144Hz refresh rate. Let me just quickly show you the video settings. These settings have been enabled. Render distance set to 10 chunks. In order to open the game toolkit, just swipe from the upper left edge like this. Here you can see the time, battery percentage and the system temperature. We also have access to certain shortcuts and settings. As you can see, Discord. My Discord page will open up, as you can see. Performance settings. I have enabled the pro gaming mode. We have access to low power mode, balance mode, description has been given here. If you are gaming, just use pro gamer mode for the best performance. Then we have game focus mode, basically blocks the notification, and you can see the other stuff. Individual notifications can also be blocked. Bullet notification, heads up notification. Screen recording can be accessed from here. Touch optimization. Touch and swipe sensitivities can be tweaked. I can set it to low or high. I am using the default one right in the middle, blocking the screen gestures. Voice changer. We have access to these two settings, high and deep. Then we have system status, the best part. This enables the real-time resource monitor and also the FPS counter. I can minimize it further, as you can see. Lastly, we have the orientation lock. There's a brightness slider here as well. I found this toolkit very useful. So guys, you can see this game is not running at 144 FPS. The FPS is capped at 60. GPU usage is around 40% only. The processor is definitely capable of running the game at around at least 100 FPS. I didn't observe any ads on this device. Moving on to password and security, these are the options that we have. Lock screen password, face unlock. Now it's not the most secure way of unlocking the device, but on this device it works very nicely. Let me just show you this. Lock the screen, unlock, work quickly. Side mounted fingerprint scanner is also very fast. Let me just show you this. Then we have the privacy setting. Here we have two settings that can disable the access to phone's camera and microphone for all of the applications. These are the settings. You can also hide individual applications. There's the hide apps option. You just need to set a privacy password. I have set the password as 1234. I'll just show you this. From this list, just toggle the application that you want to hide. For example, I have hidden EtherSS2 emulator application. If you go to the hidden section, your hidden apps will be shown. Now in order to access the hidden app, just open the dialer, type hash and then type your privacy password that you have set, 1234, type hash again. There's the hidden application. Back to the privacy setting. Here we can access the permission manager. From here we can get to know about the permissions that we have given to different applications. Microphone. These applications have access to my device's microphone. I'll disable the permission for messages app. Don't allow. Then we have the system settings. From here you can access the system navigation. I'm using the gestures mode. You can go back to the virtual buttons mode if you want. Screenshot settings can be accessed from here. 3-finger swipe down takes a screenshot. 3-finger touch and hold, take a partial or scrolling screenshot. Then we have the screen recording setting. We have two options of recording sound: record system sound, record microphone sound. Picture definition high, that is full HD resolution, 16 megabits per second bitrate. Medium, 720p resolution, 8 megabits per second bitrate. Low, 480p resolution, 4 megabits per second bitrate. We can also customize it, as you can see. Frame rate can also be changed, 15, 24, 30, 60 fps. A dynamic option is also available, automatically adjust the frame rate based on the content being recorded. Coding format can also be changed. We can select from H.264 for best compatibility and H.265 for smaller video sizes. Then we have the get recommendation setting. I had it disabled. I think that's why I never saw any ads on this device. Receive app and content recommendations in system apps such as phone manager. Good to see we have the option to completely disable the recommendations. From here you can also access the OTG connection setting. Then we have the sound and vibration setting. From here you can change your ringtone. System ringtones you can also select from your files. Haptics and tone setting. These are the available settings. The haptic response on this device is actually good. The vibration spreads across the device evenly. The vibration on my Mi 11X is feeble as compared to the vibration on this device. Moving on to the camera department. This is the camera application interface. We have access to these quick settings: flash, disable, enable, automatic. Then we have the toggle for HDR, disable, enable, auto, artificial intelligence, enable or disable. It basically detects the scene and apply processing accordingly. Aspect ratio of the image. This is the photo section. 1:1, 4:3, 16:9 full. Let me just change the aspect ratio. 4:3, 16:9. I'll go back to 1:1. Then we have these three dots. Tapping on them will show us more settings. As you can see, timer for our images, none, 3 seconds, 10 seconds. More settings from here. Watermark can be enabled or disabled. These are the other settings. Save to SD card, the memory card. This is the toggle for the video settings, high efficiency video, HEVC. This is the viewfinder. We can lock the focus and exposure by pressing and holding on any part of it, like this. Autofocus and auto exposure locked, unlocked by tapping on the viewfinder. Google Lens is integrated in the interface. Just need to tap on the shutter button. As you can see, it found the Xbox One console and controller. We can switch to 2x zoom by tapping on this up icon here. As you can see, we can access the filters by tapping on this wand icon here. These are the filters. We can switch to the selfie camera by tapping on this flip icon here. Effects also work for the selfie camera. These are the available effects. There's the slider. We also have the quick toggle for flash, HDR, timer. Then we have the portrait mode. Effects are also available for it. I'll show you the samples. Blur effect can be adjusted from here. Strong blur in the background, weak blur in the background. Then we have the night mode. From here we can enable the Pro Nightscape mode. With it enabled, we can adjust the ISO, shutter speed, focus and the white balance settings. Let me just show you the ISO setting. You can see the slider. I'll just select auto. Same thing for shutter speed, focus, auto, white balance. Then we have the video section. We have quick toggles for flash, ultra steady mode, works with full HD 60 fps video. I'll just disable it. Toggle for AI, resolution can be selected from here. The device can record full HD 30 fps and 60 fps videos. If I select the resolution to 4K, you can see can't select 60 fps setting now. It can only record 4K 30 fps videos. I tried recording a 4K video, recorded it for 30 minutes continuously. Not sure if there is a time limit on 4K 30 fps recording. Again we can access 2x zoom by tapping on the up icon here. Filters. We can also access the full 48 megapixel sensor from the camera interface. As you can see, it's only useful when you want to crop the image. Otherwise the image that comes out using this mode seems to be missing the post processing. Then we have the more section. From here we can access some more modes. As you can see, ultra macro, photograph from 4 cm away for best results, Image quality using this sensor was pretty average. Back to the more settings. We can also access the Pro mode. We can tweak these settings: ISO, shutter speed, EV, white balance, and this should be the focus. Yeah, manual focus. I'll stick with auto. We also have access to movie, slow motion, time lapse, and dual view video modes. Let me just show you this. Now we can record video using both front camera and the rear camera. I was not impressed by its video recording. Under artificial lighting condition, a lot of noise was captured. Video came out to be a bit fuzzy. Under daylight condition, the quality was just okay, nothing special. Internal mic quality was again average. It made my voice heavier. The selfie camera cannot even record full HD 60fps video. FPS is limited to 30. For a full HD 60fps video, data rate is around 23 Mbps. Audio is recorded in stereo mode. Bitrate is around 314 kbps. I'll be showing you some photo and video samples. This is a picture that I took using the rear camera of this Realme device under daylight condition. Amount of detail was decent. Upon zooming in by double tapping, most of the details were not lost. Again, the noise is minimal, but the dynamic range is poor. As you can see, dark spots. I took a similar picture using my Poco X3 Pro. Colors on that device came out to be a bit dull. Here on this Realme device, colors are saturated. Everyone may not like this. These are the details for it. Resolution, size 5 MB. Then I enabled the artificial intelligence mode. It completely destroyed the image. The colors became oversaturated, as you can see. The actual weather was overcast. Here it seems the weather was a bit sunny. That's not true at all. Dynamic range is still pretty average. Then I enabled the HDR mode. It helped in improving the dynamic range. Dark spots were reduced. Colors were more accurate. This is the picture taken using the full 48 megapixel snapper. Dynamic range is average. Useful only for cropping the image. Let me just zoom in. As you can see, we can zoom in further. With extreme zooming in, an oil painting like effect will take place. Let me show you the details for it. You can see the resolution 8000 by 6000 pixels, size 15.4 MB. This is a picture that I took using the front camera. With a bright background, colors were blown. With proper lighting condition, the image came out to be clean. Upon zooming in, noise can be observed, especially if you are observing dark colors. Colors were a bit on the saturated side. Then I used the bokeh effect for the selfie camera. I was not impressed by it. The algorithm by mistake blurred a few strands of hair. With the default configuration, the colors come out to be a bit saturated. Everyone may not like this. Nothing special about the rear camera when shooting under artificial lighting condition. I can observe some noise in the background. Again, disappointing performance when using the depth effect. You can see algorithm blurred out a few strands of hair again. Curtain in the background was unevenly blurred. This is a picture that I took using the macro sensor. There was a lot of noise, but it was able to capture really close-up shots. This is the same picture that I took using the wide lens, and you can see image was completely blurry. Night mode was nothing impressive. Most of the details were lost. I'm recording this video using the rear camera of Realme 9 5G Speed Edition mobile phone. Video quality is set at full HD 60 fps. Audio is being recorded using the internal mic. I'll just shake the camera. Yeah, video is stable. Camera lacks OIS. It only has electronic image stabilization. This is full HD 30 fps video recording. Walking around the house. Now I'm outside. I'll keep the camera stable. Now I'll shake it. I'm recording the video using the front camera of Realme 9 5G Speed Edition mobile phone. Video is being recorded in full HD 30 fps mode. Now I'm outside. You can see the colors are blown in the background. To sum it up, it's a good looking device, has excellent performance in this price segment, a good quality screen, very good battery life, also supports memory card, has a 3.5mm audio port, but there are some cons as well. Single speaker. Most of the games that actually support high refresh rates don't run at high FPS on this device. The cameras are really very disappointing, especially when it comes to video recording. So if you are looking for a value for money gaming device, this is the right phone for you. I'll end the video here guys. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.